Are you hungry? Talking about all this food and looking at all this food, does it make you hungry?
It's almost Cannabis Vegan breakfast time.
So, scaling up. Here's where we get into the nuts and the bolts. So, it seems easy, right? We just take a great product to market and everybody's going to want it and then we'll be on our way. Well, it's not quite that simple because there's a lot of red tape in the way, you know. In California, you know, if you're not growing your own cannabis and extracting your own oil, you're going to be purchasing that from a producer to infuse your products with. So the cost of the cannabis is actually anywhere from 60 to 70% of the cost of producing the product. That's a huge portion of your cost of goods. The labor involved with making the products is substantial. If you want to pay your people well, there's a substantial cost involved with that. It's all part of what makes or breaks your product and whether or not you're going to have a good margin with your product. So these scalability issues are things you want to look at. Can you move to printed bags? Can you go from stickering your bags to printed bags? Because stickering bags might be great for a small operator, but if you want to scale up and save some money in the end, you might want to move to printed bags. If you're working with an extractor and your milligram price is set, maybe you can negotiate a better price for purchasing more. Maybe there's other ways to scale up efficiently. You can purchase bulk ingredients, and that's going to help. But these are all things that cost money, and the capital needs are pretty substantial. When we started in 2008, we had $25 in the bank. We spent the first 6 years bootstrapping the business, and luckily the cash flow was good enough that we could do that. But at one point it was necessary to go out and raise money because of all the things that we wanted to do to further the brand. And so I would venture to say that it's probably going to be necessary in this day and age to have capital before you start your business. It's going to be the best way to scale up quickly and efficiently. And it might be the only way in the current environment. It depends on your business, of course. So I don't want to say for sure, but I just noticed that it definitely helps to have a capital investment in your company, and it also helps to have a really great team of investors that really understand your mission and are behind you 100% of the way. So healthy margins, overhead, cost of goods, all of that. Very important. Do it right early on so that you're not fumbling later and you're not producing a product that has no margin at all or is actually losing money. At one point, when we went through the rebrand process, we took some of the really high potency products off of our menu because two reasons. We don't want to be sued by a person who decided to kill their wife or whatever because we gave them a product that was way too many milligrams, okay? And two, we were losing money on those products. It's really hard to produce a product and keep it in that like sweet spot with your price point where you're going to actually have a margin providing that many milligrams in a product. So financially, it doesn't really make sense. And then as far as being a responsible producer, it doesn't really make sense. So we just decided to take those products off of our menu altogether. And we're quite happy that we did that. Our product line is a little bit more geared towards an older crowd, maybe not appealing as much to, you know, the 22-year-old male stoner. But we're interested, as I said before, in working with patients that are new to cannabis, that they want to experience cannabis, and they're going to do it with an edible before smoking. So we saw this huge opportunity to meet that patient. And that patient is probably a woman or a senior citizen, or it's somebody that is a different demographic than what we're used to. But it's an important demographic. Obviously, women are making all the choices about health concerns for the family, and frankly, women are overprescribed meds all the time. So this is a great opportunity to help them, but also to help the industry by widening it and expanding the people that are enjoying it, expanding their lives. So that's all really, really important. Now, I'm going to echo some of the things that Patrick said, because I think building the team is so important. It's something, once again, it's more important in this industry than anything else, because you don't want to marry somebody that you just bring on board right away. You want to make sure that they have your back and that they understand your mission 100%. And that doesn't only just go for your employees, but everybody involved in your network and in your business, whether it's, you know, the contractors that you bring in, your suppliers, your attorneys, your investors. Everybody has to be on board with your mission so that they can understand exactly what you're trying to get across. And that when you're building that brand trust, they're there with you, doing that with you. And when you're scaling up for sustainability, that they're actually helping in that process and they understand why it's necessary. And they're there helping you with the product development and bringing that special touch that they may have to that process. Having the right team on board is so very important. It's beyond explanation, actually, just how profoundly important that is. So with that, I'll leave you. I hope that you've learned a lot today with this presentation, and good luck with your business.
Imagine a world we could live in, planting seeds in the minds of our children. Plant these trees and grow our solution. Hemp can heal the world. Imagine a world we could live in, planting seeds in the minds of our children. Plant these trees and grow our solution. Hemp can save the world.
Whoa! Now that definitely appears to be something interesting. Yes. I've seen something like this before. Yes, it's a superconductor. Yes, and there's something here on the wall, and I believe it's the key.
Turns out that it is the key.
But remember, it took 400 years to convince white people in America not to own black people. You can see why this is taking so long. We can't even treat each other with kindness, let alone treat the chickens and the pigs and the turkeys and the insects of the world with kindness.